I take care of my own. Torn down where I stand. You can't suffocate my spirit. 'Cause I'm the king of my own throne, my own throne. King of my own throne, my own throne. You'll never see me fall, fall. You'll never see me fall. Watch me reign, and I'll slay them all. Slay them all, slay them all. You'll never see me reign, and I'll slay them all. Slay them all, slay them all, slay them all. You'll never see love grow.
What is up, KUFFS fam and Rocketeers? Welcome back finally to another court night. We haven't done this in so long. It's a lot of moving parts and it got to be kind of a bitch in the past, but we're going to try it again. We're going to see how this goes, everybody. So let me run through the chat real quick before it resets on me, see who we got here. Let's see. I see Gary Gaming. What's up? Good to see you. There's Taylor Ray. What's up, Taylor? Christian. And what's going on? Welcome to the stream. We got Ian Hodges here. One of our sponsors on the channel. Good to see you, Ian. Thank you so much for being sponsoring for 36 months. Look at that. That's a long time sponsor there. I appreciate that. Nicholas Peel is here. What's up, Nicholas? Max El Soro's here. The Bad Guy 34, one of our community members. Good to see you. Welcome to the stream. We've also got Joe Boyd. What's up, Joe? Good to see you. We got Krista R.A. What's going on? Aaron Madden is here. What's up, Aaron? Welcome to the stream. I see Jamie H., another one of our community members in the house. What's up there, Jamie? Kiera Barker's here. What's up? Welcome, welcome. Also see Brian Taubman here. What's going on, Brian? Welcome to the stream. Good to see you. We've got Brandon Lowman, one of our sponsors on the channel. What's going on there, Brandon? Good to see you. We've also got Daquindale Jackson. How you doing, Daquindale? Kiera Barker, how are you? Oh, it reset on me. Son of a bitch. If I missed anybody, say hello again. Deljai Gaming, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Andrew Chuckin, what's up? Howdy, howdy. Chris Talbert, moderator to the stars. How you doing there, buddy? Good to see you. Good to see you. There's Ember Rose, everybody. One of our community members and improved streamers. She'll be testifying. Actually, she's going to be testifying as a witness, and she's also a defendant in another case. With one of our other characters. Corey Earlywine, what's going on? Good to see you. Another one of our community members and sponsors here on the channel. Welcome, welcome. Timmy Luke, what's up? Good to see you, Timmy Luke Gaming. Welcome to the stream. All right, so it reset on me. If I missed you, do say hello again so that I know you're here and I can say hello to you. We got. I'm doing good, Joe. I'm doing good, man. I haven't eaten anything yet, so I'm gonna be starving to death by the time this is over with, probably. But you know. What's up, Chad? What's up, Chad? Hey, are you in the courtroom over there? By chance? I hadn't walked back out there yet. I'm in the office over here as Judge Brickant, of course. But I'm about to go out there and get started on these cases. We'll start calling the first ones and see what's what. She is going to be a cop at some point, and then she's also a defendant, Andrew. With another character. So let's get on out there. Oh wait, first we got to take our hat off. We cannot walk in the courtroom with our hat on because we ain't gonna allow nobody else to come up in there with a hat on. We got to take our hat off. Boom, there we go. All right, let's go out here. We'll go ahead and get started. Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening, Your Honor.
Blade Studios, what's going on? Another one of our sponsors in the house. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right, let me look back over my... let me look back over my docket here real quick. Let's see. First case on the docket here, I've got case number TR2022-0708-01. It's State of San Andreas versus Michael King Jr. It looks like we had gotten a motion at the court for this individual to represent themselves pro se. I have two witnesses that were subpoenaed for this. We've got Olivia Sharp and Alex Rico with the San Andreas Highway Patrol. Are the witnesses present?
Yeah, Your Honor.
Alex Rico is not present tonight, sir.
Okay. And Michael King Jr. is the defendant present. Okay, well, he received plenty of notice, submitted the motion that he was going to represent himself. We're going to go ahead and proceed in his absence. Mr. Hamlin, are you ready to present this case, sir?
I am, Your Honor.
All right. Who is the primary officer on this? Was it Rico or Sharp?
Judging by the police report, it was Officer Sharp.
Okay. All right. Well, we can proceed then. All right. I've got the police report in front of me here. Mr. Hamlin, you can go ahead and present your case, sir. Mr. Hamlin? Mr. Hamlin, I'm not able to hear you, sir. Ms. Sharp, you want to go ahead and step forward to this podium out here in front of me? The one with the two microphones on it out there.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Sharp, can you state your name, rank, and job title for the record, please?
Yes, sir. Officer Olivia Sharp, 409 San Andreas Highway Patrol, Sergeant.
Okay. All right. Raise your right hand and repeat after me, or just answer this question for me. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Go ahead and take this witness stand to my left over here to be your right. You prepared to proceed, Mr. Hamlin? I think he's caught up on his laptop over there. What's going on, Mace Pilot 2K7? How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Good to see you. Okay, Officer Smoke. Awesome.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Your Honor, I couldn't hear you.
Oh, I apologize. Are you able to hear me now, sir?
I am, Your Honor.
Okay. I've already sworn Sergeant Sharp in. If you're ready to proceed with the State of San Andreas versus Michael King Jr. Looks like the charge is 1 count of speeding, 15 plus over the limit.
Yes, we're ready.
Is-
Sergeant Sharp,
Is my voice cutting out for you any, or?
it was in the beginning. It's better now, sir.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Hamlin.
Sergeant Sharp, according to your
DJ
report,
Top
you were
Secret,
down in the
JD
area of
Games, what's up, Joe?
docks. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And it states that yourself and Officer Rico witnessed the suspect speeding.
Oh, that's gonna
Yes,
mess
sir.
with my eyeballs.
And how was that witnessed? Radar, visual, LiDAR?
It was witnessed on radar, sir, and visual. Myself was stationed outside the docks, and I witnessed Mr. King pulling into the dock, sir.
Okay, and what kind of vehicle was he driving?
A pickup truck, sir.
Okay. And with that, how was he towards officers? Was he cooperative,
Very,
apologetic?
very cooperative and apologetic, sir.
Okay. Can you just go through the traffic stop with us?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Jason Everett, what's
On
going
that
on?
given
Welcome to the
day,
stream.
myself, I witnessed Mr. Michael King Jr. and his pickup truck rolling into the docks, going about 15 over the speed limit, and he pulled over as I pulled out and put my lights at him. Officer Rico witnessed it as well and pulled up behind me to give me backup. And then I got out of my cruiser and I spoke to Michael King in a kind manner.
Okay. And as you said, he was compliant and everything else?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Your Honor, we feel that being that he was compliant, he should be still keep the charge of 15 over in that area. It is a quote unquote work zone type deal. We also feel that since he's not here today, he should be hit with a failure to appear.
I am inclined to agree. Do you have anything further, any further evidence you want to submit before I give my ruling?
I do not, Your Honor.
All right, Miss Sharp, you're free to step down. Thank you. I'm sorry, Sergeant. You're free to step down.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, after reviewing the preponderance of the evidence in the case of the State of San Andreas versus Michael King Jr., I do find that the state has met its burden of proof in that the subject was clocked by Sergeant Sharp driving 64 miles per hour in a 35 mile per hour zone. It appears from the report that the driver did admit to driving as such on the scene. Regardless of compliance or not, it's still a very dangerous thing. I'm going to find the defendant guilty in case number TR 20220708-01 of speeding 15 plus over the speed limit. I'm going to issue a fine of $750, and there's also going to be a bench warrant for failure to appear issued for the arrest of one Michael King Jr., the defendant in this case. Anything further on this case from you, Mr. Hamlin?
No, Your Honor. The state is more than happy.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next case we're going to be calling is going to be the State of San Andreas versus Mike Dick. If we have the defense attorney and the defendant present, please come forward.
Your Honor, Devin Caldwell for the defense.
No, Ember wasn't no trouble there.
Wait.
Welcome, Mr. Caldwell. Where is your client, sir?
He has
Okay, so he's not
failed
here.
to meet with me, sir.
Okay, I got you. All right. Well, there plenty of notice was sent out. The state has prepared its case, I'm assuming, Mr. Hamlin.
The state did prepare a case, sir. I have two witnesses. One doesn't appear to be present, but the other one is.
Okay. Is it your primary officer that's present?
It is actually the witness that he kidnapped, sir. primary officer is not present at this time.
Okay, that would be even better. All right, Mr. Caldwell, the court is, due to sufficient notice being issued, the court is going to go ahead and hear this case in absentia of your client. You still represent them, so be sure to represent their best interest in this case.
I will do my best, Your Honor.
All right. One moment while I get this docket out and ready. Hey, Megan D Gaming, what is going on? One of our community members and sponsors on the channel. What is up, Megan? Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Let's see. Okay, this is going to be case number CR20220708-01. It is the State of San Andreas versus Mike Dick. It is one charge of felony kidnapping, one charge of misdemeanor trespass, does that sound correct, Mr. Hamlin?
It does according to the officer, Commissioner Granley. However, after reviewing the evidence, the state would like to add another charge onto that if possible.
What would that charge be, sir?
Assault on a police officer. The person he did kidnap was a Sergeant Sharp, and when she was found, as you'll hear in her testimony, she was very bruised and tattered, along with emotional trauma.
Do you have evidence to prove that the subject in the defendant in this kidnapping knew that Sergeant Sharp was a law enforcement officer? Hey, Jay Clark, what's going on?
We do believe so within her testimony.
Okay. Mr. Caldwell, any objection to that?
No, Your Honor.
All right, we'll add one charge of assault on a police officer to these charges as well, which is also a felony in the state of San Andreas.
Thank you, Your Honor.
No problem. All right, Mr. Hamlin, go ahead and proceed with your case.
Okay, as reported through 401's police report, he responded to the area of the abandoned hotel up in Sandy Shores. It's going to be area code 119. Or I'm sorry, 1019. He arrived
Hey,
on
John Daynard,
location
what's going on, brother?
at a small
What's up, Jake Clark?
firefight with the defendant. The defender was struck in the leg and able to be treated on scene by EMS. While speaking with the defendant, he did state he knew the location and condition of Sergeant Sharp, and then led the arresting officer 401 to Sergeant Sharp to be found.
Okay, so let me make sure I'm getting straight here the timeline of the case you're presenting. So you're saying the original charge was going to be a trespass?
It's going to be a trespass, and then
it developed into the rest of this? Now
developed into the rest, sir.
All right, now did I hear you say that he had fired shots at an officer during that trespass?
Yes, sir.
Were there any other officers on scene other than Commissioner Granley for that shots fired?
I do believe Lieutenant O'Connor, badge
Okay.
number 406.
Okay, and he's not available at the moment either, correct?
No, sir.
Okay, then I'm not going to allow the addition of an additional attempted murder on a police officer or assault on a police officer for that incident. You can try to bring that later possibly. But as for this case, make sure that you stick only to the trespass, the kidnapping, and the assault on Sergeant Sharp.
Yes, sir.
All right, you can proceed.
Okay. at
Hey,
this
Ethan
time,
Boudreaux, what's going on?
State calls Sergeant Sharp to the stand.
Welcome back, Sergeant Sharp. I'll remind you that you are still under oath, ma'am. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Go ahead and take this witness stand to my left. You're right. Let the record show this witness has already been sworn in from a previous case and is still under oath and understands that fact. Mr. Caldwell, before we start with this witness, do you have any opening statement you want to give prior to us getting started? I'm sorry, I skipped ahead of you a little bit there. Good night, Mace.
Actually, yes, Your Honor.
All right, Sergeant Sharp, while the defense attorney is making his statements, make sure you don't address him, answer any questions, or speak out. Your testimony is not needed at this time. We're just going to allow him to make his opening statement, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Caldwell.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Dick had been experiencing some emotional distress when he was finally confronted by Commissioner Granley. He did voluntarily inform the commissioner of Sergeant Sharp's location and led him and Sergeant O'Connor to Sergeant Sharp's location. I believe, therefore, that this shows some level of remorse, and I will further show that in ongoing testimony.
Okay, very well. Now, since your client is absent and not able to testify as to his emotional distress, are you prepared to share what type of emotional issues your client had been dealing with at that time?
Unfortunately, Your Honor, I am not.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, I'll take it under advisement. I just, I was more or less trying to figure out the severity of it.
I understand that, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I was unable to meet at length with my client before he decided to take his extended vacation from our state.
I got you. But you do have, he did retain you as counsel. He understood when his court date was and all that, correct?
Yes, sir, he did.
Okay. All right, well, that's it. Mr. Hammond, go ahead and proceed with your questioning of Sergeant Sharp in your case.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good evening, Sergeant Sharp. How are you doing?
I'm looking up charges here
Good
for
evening.
assault on a
I'm
police
right
officer,
side
since
on.
it's an additional charge you're
I'm
going to
well,
be adding.
thank you. So it's my understanding that you were taken kidnapped by a Mr. Mike Dick. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you explain what went on? Why he had you in his custody?
He, along with many others, to my knowledge, were under command, by a one named Snake, later known as Eric Dawson, and he,
I understand this is very hard for you, Sergeant.
How you doing there, Dustin K? Riot is sitting back there in the back in the yellow jacket. You proceed when you feel ready, Sergeant. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Hey, if y'all haven't hit that like button already, please do consider doing that. Ethan Boudreaux, how are you doing? Welcome to the stream, by the way. You still need a few more moments there, Sergeant?
Can you hear me, Your Honor?
Yes.
All right. So I was on that specific day. I Mike, Dick, and a few other individuals. They were under command by a Eric Dawson, also known as Snake. And to my knowledge, I am unaware of why they kidnapped me and why I was needed in their scheme. On that specific day in Plano, I was ran off the road by a van and was unable to reach out for emergency help before I was ripped out of my vehicle, and everything got fuzzy from there. Um, by specific people, I was drugged with a
Yeah, he must have
unknown
forgot to eat before court. I
substance
did too. Hopefully, I
and
can stick it
taken
out.
into a trafficking ring where there were many other girls in the same situation as I was. And upon that, Michael Dick was involved very heavily, although he wasn't the leader of the pack.
Buddha's on Daquindale as his civilian character
Okay, Sergeant
who
Sharp,
has
were
some
you in your
cases.
when you were
some
taken that
speeding
day? Were
tickets.
you in your police cruiser or were you in civilian status?
Oh, pizza
I
Pringles are
was
so
in my
good,
police
Dustin.
cruiser, sir.
Okay, and were you responding to a call, or what was the deal?
I was taking evidence. I met with Commissioner Granley to take at a unknown vehicle with a S license plate, and there were drugs, paraphernalia found in the trunk of that car, and I was taking that evidence to the Plano Sheriff's Station for processing.
I think Daquindale, I think Buddha may be
And
streaming
along the way
over
is
on
when
his
I
Twitch
got
channel right now as
ran off
well.
the road.
Okay, and confirming that they took all your firearms, body armor, and everything else, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Your Honor, the defense has no more questions for this witness. Correction, the state has no more questions for this witness.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hamlin. Mr. Caldwell, do you have any questions for this witness?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Go ahead.
Sergeant Sharp, I do understand that this is.
It's been a little bit there, Nicholas.
very
Just make sure you
trying time
have
for
those
you.
notifications on, bud. It's random.
Now, you mentioned that you mentioned repeatedly, in fact, that my client, Michael Dick, you asserted that he was under command of another individual. What
Yes, sir.
what evidence do you have supporting this supposed link?
It was when I was first taken, it was Michael and many other Mike and many others who brought me to see Snake, and he was clearly the leader of the pack, directing them
That
how to
Durango would
beat
get
me,
away
what
from
to
you.
do to me, how to hurt me, how to hurt other girls, and what he needed done around town with certain drugs and paraphernalia to uh, intensify his scheme.
Again, I understand that this is difficult for you, and I do sympathize. But so you are asserting that my client was under the direction or command of another individual who clearly was asserting pressure and dominance, correct?
Yes, yes, sir.
Had you had any dealings with this leader or Mr. Dick prior to the day in question?
No, sir.
Thank you. That is all.
Thank you, Mr. Caldwell. Any redirect, Mr. Hamlin?
Yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Sergeant Sharp, can you attest to what Mike Dick himself did to you?
I can attest to the fact that I know that he is was the individual who shot me up with drugs to hinder my ability. I cannot confirm what else he did in that moment, as the drugs were too strong.
Okay, at that time, did he seem
Ace
to
Pilot
be
2K7, our
a
Cuffs
snake
brother
in
and
the
a
room with
sponsor.
him
What is going
or
on,
in the
Ace?
area
Welcome
that
to
you
the
know of?
stream.
Yes, 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 sir.
Okay, and then it seemed as if this so-called snake character was forcing him to do it, or did it seem he was voluntary to do it?
It Snake was forcing him, but to my knowledge, Mike did not hold back at any given moment.
Okay, thank
King
you.
Julian, what is up?
State
Welcome
rest
to the
on, Your
stream.
Honor.
That's right, Alex Steele. It is rough. All right, thank you, Mr. Hamlin. Look at that. Jamie H has re-upped his sponsorship. Thank you so much, Jamie. Appreciate that. Thank you, brother.
I have nothing further for this witness, Your Honor.
All right, so does the state have any further evidence to submit, or are you ready to rest your case?
State rest its case, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Sharp or Sergeant Sharp, I do apologize. Thank you for your service to the community, and I do sympathize with you that this has happened to you. You're free to step down and take your seat back in the gallery, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm doing good, King Julian. I'm doing good. What's your question, Daquin Dale? What is your question? Do you have any closing statements, Mr. Hamlin?
I do, Your Honor. As you can see, Mr. Dick here has acted very poorly towards the state of
Oh,
San
have a good
Andreas
swim, Jason.
Highway Patrol. Although he did testify to where he was keeping Sergeant Sharp, he also acted with, I feel, no remorse upon doing the actions that were done per her testimony. That shows that, in our eyes, as the state, that he will not have remorse, and his mental health.
What's
did
going
not
on,
play
Neil
much
M.
into this.
1989? Welcome to the stream, buddy.
And that's all we have, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, sir. Mr. Caldwell, do you have any closing statements you wish to present, sir?
Yes, Your Honor, I do. In addition,
Oh, you got braces?
could the record note that I was unable to cross-examine or get the testimony of the other officer involved who could attest to what occurred that day, sir?
That would be Commissioner Kevin Granley.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, I'll let the record reflect that, sir.
Thank you, sir. As Trooper Sharp Sergeant Sharp has testified my client was being basically commanded and was under duress
I don't know, Nicholas.
for-
I don't know.
to commit
I have
these
no
acts.
idea what I'm eating.
She testified that this snake
I'm doing awesome, Neil. I'm doing awesome. Thanks for asking, brother.
was a ruthless individual who was clearly in charge and directing his subordinates what to do under clear threat. While this does not completely absolve Mr. Dick, I do believe that the fact that he was coerced into doing this out of fear for his own life
It is
should
interesting, Jamie. I love these things.
provide for some
Thank you again for sponsoring for 12 whole months. 1
consideration.
year, honey.
When making your ruling, Your Honor.
So noted. Anything
And-
else, Mr. Caldwell?
And with that, the defense rests.
All right. Thank you, sir. Give me one moment while I look over my notes, gentlemen. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? They failed to meet the burden on at least one. All right, gentlemen. After a preponderance of the evidence submitted, I am prepared to make a ruling. Let the record show that the defendant is absent. Therefore, let me start this ruling out with the fact that a failure to appear warrant is going to be issued for Mr. Mike Dick to be served upon him with extradition back to the state of San Andreas, wherever he may be found, to stand before this court and explain why he did not make it here today. However, Mr. Caldwell, I do appreciate you coming in and taking the reins and handling this case for your client to the best of your ability without him being present. Hey, there's Craig092, another one of our community members and sponsors on the channel. What is going on?
Thank you, Your Honor.
So with that being said, after reviewing the evidence and the testimony that's been given here today, unfortunately, I do find that the state failed to meet its burden of proof on the trespassing charge, which would have been the original charge here. So trespassing is not going to be charged against Mr. Dick. I do find that after preponderance of the evidence, assault on a police officer, namely Sergeant Sharp, was proven by the evidence. Therefore, I'm going to find the defendant Mike Dick guilty of assault on a police officer due to the egregious nature of that assault by injecting unknown narcotics into that officer's system for the purpose of controlling her. I'm going to issue a $2,000 fine on that charge, as well as issue the maximum jail sentence for that of 12 months. It is going to be the misdemeanor charge of that, since physically there was no lasting injury from that objection. Thankfully, it didn't cause any brain damage or anything like that. But that'll be my ruling on that charge. Assault on a police officer, $2,000 fine, and 12 months in state prison on that guilty charge there. I do understand that the defendant was believed to be under emotional distress and also being controlled by another individual. However, our actions are our own actions, and we answer for our own actions. This so-called snake subject will have to answer for his own actions in this incident, just as Mr. Dick will as well. I do find that the state has met its burden of proof on the kidnapping charge, which is a felony in the state of San Andreas. That's going to be Title 207, kidnapping in the first degree. I do find the defendant guilty of that charge. I will fine him the maximum of $10,000 for that charge. However, due to there being some extenuating circumstances with there being a so-called ringleader, so to speak, I will not issue the maximum jail time on this. Instead of the maximum of 12 years, I'm going to sentence the defendant to 10 years in Bolingbroke. And so between the two, it will be a total of a $12,000 fine and 11 years to be served in Bolingbroke. There will be no parole until at least 2/3 of that sentence has been served. And that is the order of this court. I am dismissing the trespass charge, and any bail involved with that is able to be credited to the fines for Mr. Dick on this charge. Any questions or comments from either of you gentlemen?
No, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor. The defense requests that Mr. Dick's sentences be served concurrently and not consecutively, given the extenuating circumstances.
Objection, Your Honor.
What's your objection?
Your Honor, due to the heinousness of his crimes and him not being able to appear in court today, we feel that these should be served consecutively and not concurrently.
I'm going to overrule your objection, Mr. Hamlin, and I am going to fine for the defense on that motion. Due to the fact that the assault is a misdemeanor charge, I will roll that in to be served concurrently with the 10 years for the kidnapping. So the defendant must serve at least 3/4 before even being up for parole of that 10-year sentence. And that's the order of the court.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome, sir. Do you have any other cases that you're defending, Mr. Caldwell? I know you're acting as special prosecutor on another case, correct?
That is correct, sir. No, sir. I am not the attorney of record for any other defendants.
Okay. All right. Well, you're free to go back to the gallery there, sir, and we'll move on with the next case. We're going to go ahead and move on to case number CR 20220708-02, State of San Andreas versus Demi Whitehead on a charge of shoplifting and reckless evading of law enforcement. Mr. Sharkskin, are you present, sir?
No, I'm here, Your Highness.
This character's hilarious. Your Honor is fine.
Oh, no, you just called me Mr. Sharkskin.
No, I mean when you address me, sir, you can just address me as Your Honor or Judge. That would be fine.
Okay, I got Your Honor.
All right. Is your client Demi Whitehead present, sir?
Yeah, I believe she is in the courtroom. She may be stepped out to the ladies' room for just a minute.
Okay.
Your Honor.
All right, that's fine. So I'm showing that we have witness subpoenas issued for Alex Rico and Kevin Granley with the San Andreas Highway Patrol. Mr. Hamlin, are those individuals present today?
They are not, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, we'll give Miss Whitehead just a few minutes to finish up in the powder room. If anyone needs food or drink, now's your time to step out and take care of that. I'm going to run back here in my office real quick and grab my own bottle of water. I will be right back in. I'm only talking about like a 1-minute break here, folks, so don't go far.
All right, Your Honor.
I'll leave out of the courtroom so I can eat and drink too. Hey, Savage Bad Bacon, what is going on? Good to see you. Let's see. Oh, your internet went out? Oh, shit. Okay, all right. We may move on to the next case then. We may have to move on to the next case. I'll move on to the next case so we can get that figured out. We'll move yours back. Let's see where. Let's drink some tea. And let's eat us. God, I got all these new items. I was testing out. Let's eat us a quick pot pie. There we go. Oh, barbecue steaks and hot dogs. Oh my God, that sounds so good. Who's on the left of the judge and on the right? Nobody's there. If we had a court reporter, we would put them there, but we don't really need a court reporter necessarily. And this is the witness stand.
For some rye merch for my contest. I'll be right back.
Yeah, not many people do the court stuff. I actually do really, really like it. Thank you, Neil. Thank you. Yeah, it's something different, you know. It kind of brings some of these cases to a close, you know. Mr. Hamlin, I did have a note on my computer screen here when I got back that Miss Whitehead had telephoned the court clerk and stated that she was involved in an incident on the way here, but she is coming. Due to the fact that your witnesses are not here as well, are you fine with pushing this case back and moving on to another one?
That is fine, Your Honor. We actually have a plea deal for this case anyway.
Okay. I would like for your client to be present for the plea deal, though, in case I have any questions. Mr. Sharkskin, you had stepped out in the hallway, and I don't know if you heard me, but when I walked back to my computer screen here, I had a note from the court clerk that stated that Miss Whitehead, your client, was involved in an incident on her way here, and she's trying urgently to get here. So what we'll do is we're going to push this case off and hear it next, and we're going to move on to one of your other cases. Now, I'll give you the option, sir. Do you want to take the State versus James Hammond or the State versus Rexford Power first?
We'll take the Rexford Powers book. Let me
Okay.
follow through my paperwork here.
All right. Mr. Power, are you present in the courtroom, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. This is going to also require the Special Prosecutor Devin Caldwell. Mr. Caldwell, are you prepared for this case, sir?
Yes, Your Honor, I am.
Okay. The witnesses in this case are going to be Brian O'Connor, Olivia Sharp, and Kevin Granley with the San Andreas Highway Patrol. If you can notify them that we'll be awaiting their testimony here shortly. No problem, Ember. We're going to move on to Rex's case real quick, and then we'll come back to yours, okay? Have a good night, Andrew. Thanks for hanging out, brother. Sleep well, sleep well. All right, Mr. Caldwell, this is going to be case number TR20220708-02. It's the State of San Andreas versus Rexford Power. Charges are 2 counts of speeding 15 plus over the limit and 1 charge of speeding 10 to 14 over the limit. Are you ready to proceed, sir?
Yes, sir. I am.
Okay.
But-
Mr. Sharkskin, are you ready to proceed, sir?
I'm ready, yo, Warner.
Okay. Were there any plea agreements pending in this case?
I have not been approached with one, sir.
Okay. All right. So your witnesses are Brian O'Connor, Olivia Sharp, and Kevin Granley with the San Andreas Highway Patrol. Do you know which, if any, of those are present, sir? I know Sharp is.
As far as I'm aware, Mr. O'Connor is present. Unfortunately, apparently, Commissioner Granley is not. So that's the current situation.
And who is our primary charging officer in this case?
Your Honor, we have two different charging officers, because the way I'm understanding it, the way it was handed to me, these charges stem from two different incidents.
I believe it's 3, actually, Your Honor.
Okay, yeah, I see what we're looking at here.
That is correct.
All right, let me dig these out. Mr. Power, you have quite the stack of citations here on my desk, sir. Don't answer that. That's just a statement. So the first ticket that I'm looking at is from at least in the order that my stack is from 6/18/22. Unit number 406, O'Connor, appears to be the citing officer. Is O'Connor present at this time?
I am, Your Honor.
Okay. Let's proceed on that case, Mr. Caldwell.
Yes, Your Honor. I will forego an opening statement on these cases in the interest of time.
That's fine, sir. All right, Mr. O'Connor, go ahead and step up here to be sworn in, sir. I don't believe you've been sworn in today's court, have you?
No, Your Honor, I haven't.
Wes Reynolds, what's going on? Good to see you. Yeah, it happens. It happens, Ember. Raise your right hand. Well, before you do that, can you state your name, rank, and employment position, Mr. O'Connor?
Yes, sir. I'm Lieutenant Brian O'Connor, the San Andreas Highway Patrol, badge number 406.
Okay, thank you, sir. Raise your right hand. Lieutenant O'Connor, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do, Your Honor.
That's awesome, Jamie. I'm ready to see that. All right, go ahead and take the stand, sir. Case is yours, Mr. Caldwell.
Thank you, Your Honor. And Lieutenant O'Connor, I do apologize. I referred to as Sergeant O'Connor on several occasions, and I deeply apologize for not recognizing that promotion, sir. So.
Oh no, Amber.
Okay.
Your
Honor,
well, we'll try to get to you as quick as we can. Then.
Or the citation reports have been entered into evidence. That's correct.
That's correct. I do have in front of me right now on this case, I have citation number 4264 issued by unit number 406 O'Connor on 6/18/22. I do have a copy of that.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. I just wanted to make sure you had a copy and I didn't need to introduce it back into evidence.
No, sir.
Lieutenant O'Connor, can you walk us through what happened on the evening of the 18th of June, sir?
I can. So while out on patrol on the Sonora Freeway, I was heading towards Paleto Bay when I clocked Mr. Powers with my radar at approximately 112 miles per hour. I then turned around, activated my lights and sirens. He did pull over into the median of the highway. He then was cooperative with me as I asked for his documents. However, he did state that when I advised him I clocked him at 112, he said, "Is that it?" Because I believe I was going faster. I disregarded that statement at the time. I then proceeded with the traffic stop. I had a backup unit come just due to the speed and the location of the stop. The whole stop lasted approximately 15 minutes. He was cooperative the whole time, and that's it, sir.
Okay, thank you, Lieutenant. Um, when the defendant was pulling into the median, was he in full control of his vehicle, sir?
He was not. He stated that the gravel pulled him into the
112.
road or into the median. Sorry.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have for this witness, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Sharkskin, do you have any questions for this witness, sir?
I could probably ask one or two questions if you wouldn't mind there, Your Honor.
No, you go right ahead, sir.
Officer, I just got one question for you there. When Mr. Powers was pulled over, you say lost control of his vehicle. You did say it was in the median. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, would you tell this courtroom of beautiful, beautiful people, was there a lot of gravel and rocks laid around that one might have slipped on and maybe perhaps cause a temporary loss of control of a vehicle when you're getting pulled over at that speed?
Yes, sir. There was. But if he would have pulled to the
Oh,
right
God,
side
he's
of the road
hilarious.
instead of the left,
What's going on, Master Gamer 2008?
he would have not. slipped
How
on
are you
gravel,
doing,
sir.
Anthony? Good to see
All
you,
right, let
brother.
me ask
Another
you
one of our
another question
sponsors
here,
here
since
on
you
the
said that,
channel,
sir.
y'all.
Could you or could you not tell me what traffic looked like in the right-hand lane that maybe could have persuaded him to go to the left side?
From my point of view, traffic was light at that time, and he could have went to the right.
All right. Now, if that was going to be put into evidence or taken into consideration that he did pull off to the wrong side of the road, I would be want to request some camera footage, pulling up beside so we could see the traffic on the highway to judge for ourselves. What normally it would be right to pull over to the right hand side, he may have deemed it necessary for safety reasons to evacuate the highway on the left hand side.
Evacuate.
That's all the questions I got, Your Honor.
Okay, did I understand you to say that you're requesting body camera footage?
Well, I'm just trying to decide if the officer was thinking that he was going so fast that maybe he was out of control of his vehicle, or if the fact that he pulled off on the left hand side, probably gently, probably caressing the side of the road, and accidentally had got onto the gravel, which caused to come loose and caused him to travel further on down into the median. I'm
Okay.
just trying to get a visual of that scene there, sir.
Okay, I get you. Now, just to make sure you're clear there, Mr. Sharkskin, there is no charge of reckless driving included with this, so the manner in which he pulled off really has no bearing on this
Okay.
speeding citation. So I think you're good there, sir.
Okay,
But
thank you
just-
so much for clarifying that.
Yeah,
sir.
but just for future purposes, sir, if you think you're going to need some body camera footage, make sure you put that request in early enough so that discovery can be turned over to you by the state in a timely manner.
Yeah, well, that I probably shouldn't have brought that up, but being that the officer had said it, I thought maybe that might have been had gotten bamboozled into the paperwork without my prior knowledge. So I'm
Okay,
just
no.
making sure I protect my client on that. But I got no other questions, Your Honor. Thank you, Officer, there for your contributions to this community.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
All right. That is all you got, Mr. Sharkskin?
That's all I got on that case, Your Honor.
All right. The question for you is: your client planning on testifying on his own behalf, or is he going to exercise his right to not be required to do that?
I can, Your Honor. I have no problem with testifying.
Well,
I do believe that it might clear a few doubts up surrounding at least the citation and charges that we just discussed. But I don't have to testify. I think it's pretty clear what.
okay.
I did.
Well, Mr. Power, but before you consider that, I do want to remind you, you do have the right under the Constitution of the United States to not be forced to testify against yourself or assist the prosecution in their investigation or prosecution of you, sir. So the court cannot compel you to testify. If you choose to testify, that's strictly a decision between you and your attorney.
May I have like 30 seconds to confer with Mr. Sharkskin?
That's fine with me. That's fine with me. While they're conferring, Mr. Hammond, do you have any redirect for this guy?
Well, I mean, you do have five cases here. I mean, if you think you can get up there,
no,
and
sir,
help
Your
you get
Honor.
one of them down. This
I
is the
do not.
worst of them here.
And
So if you're going to testify and think you could get it more down, this will be the time, I would think. Because I think the others will be a wash, Okay.
All right, so nobody else has any further questions for Lieutenant O'Connor?
no, Your Honor. As far as I'm concerned, he is dismissed.
Mr. Sharkskin, you have no further questions for this witness, correct?
No, sir. He just been a gem here today in the courtroom, and I just appreciate him being here so much.
All right. Thank you, sir. Lieutenant O'Connor, you're free to step down, sir. Thank you for your service to the community.
Thank you, Your Honor.
What's up, Matt Tree? Before we proceed any further, let me ask this question first of the state. When we get to the point of rendering a verdict, there's 3 charges here, 3 different charges on 3 different days. Would you want verdicts and testimony be heard separately for each citation, or would you want to hear all 3 and then issue the order at the end?
Your Honor, I have actually no issue doing it either way. But
Okay.
doing so at the end could be taken into consideration by Your Honor as a whole.
Okay, I got you. Mr. Sharkskin, do you have any issue with us hearing testimony and evidence on all 3 of these cases prior to a verdict being rendered, or would you rather a verdict be rendered and each ticket heard separately?
Let me confer with my client. For just
What's going on? Rome Plays Games. What's going on, brother? Hey, there's Excalibur. Another one of our community members. Ron and Excalibur, both community members. What is going on, gentlemen? Good to see y'all.
Yeah, I'm fine either way. I'd rather just get everything done at once and be done with it.
All right, Your Honor. My client has said he would be okay when we wrap all these up into one big bundle there.
Okay, I got you. All right, so Mr. Sharkskin, did your client decide if he wanted to be called as a witness for the defense on this ticket itself, or are you going to abstain from that?
I would like to speak on the ticket that is being currently discussed and shed a little light. I don't intend to try to twist the facts to escape these charges, but I do wish to speak some truth on it.
All right. Does the state have any further witnesses it wants to call before we move on to the defense's case?
I do not, sir.
Okay. Mr. Sharkskin, if the defense
Yes,
wishes
sir.
to call witnesses, you may proceed, sir.
All right, now we're going on the first one here, the one on the side of the highway that we just spoke to the officer about.
That's correct. Testimony should only be issued for citation number 4264, which was issued by Lieutenant O'Connor on 6/18/22.
All right, I will now call to the stand the amazing Rex Powers to the stand.
I fucking love Al Sharkskin.
Do I need to be sworn in here or up there, Your Honor?
Either is fine, sir. But while you're right there, if you want to go ahead and state your full name, sir, for the record, and your occupation, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no problem. My full name is Rexford Power, and I am a local business owner and a custom car mechanic for a living.
Okay, thank you, sir. And just to confirm the spelling of your first name, it is Rexford, correct?
That is correct, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. You may raise your right hand now. And do you swear or affirm that you will tell the truth, nothing but the truth, and the whole truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right. You can go ahead and take the stand here to my left, which would be to your right, sir. Oh, no, the season's over, X. Oh, man. I know y'all are having fun with that. Tyler Bowling Gaming, what is going on? Welcome to the stream. All right, Mr. Sharkskin, you are ready to go, sir.
All right, then. Mr. Powers, how you doing today there, sir?
I am upright, mobile, and sucking air, sir. I cannot complain.
That's a fantastic. Now, let me ask you something. Where was you heading that day? On that beautiful, glorious day out there on the highway heading up north, where were you going?
We were actually headed south out of Polito, down past the Braddock Tunnel to the first turn towards Grapeseed, and we were going to make a U-turn and come back up to the shop there at the round.
All right. And what kind of car were you driving on that evening, sir?
I believe it was a customer's custom Mustang that we had just finished a very large project.
Are you happy it's done now?
Answer me this. Was it a beautiful day? Was it all clear and the sky all blue and all kind of big, beautiful, white, fluffy clouds was in the sky?
I don't recall the day, but I do believe that it was a very nice evening.
So you would say you was just out for a nice little drive kind of while you was taking a call that to be worked on, just kind of enjoying the automobile, being that you are an automobile enthusiast?
Well, it was a test drive. We were doing a final test drive for our customer.
Now let me ask you, is it one of them cars where you're going a little fast and you look at the speedometer, you're like, oh my goodness, there's a car behind me, I'm going too fast? Is that kind of car, easy riding car that is?
It's definitely a very powerful car. Yeah, I mean, we'll just leave it at that. It's a powerful car.
All right. Now let me ask you a question. At any time did you know that you was going so fast over the speed limit? Or were you aware? I know you probably had your arm out the window.
I'm going to answer it like this. To be honest, I did not know exactly what the speed was. I was more concerned with how the car's systems were reacting and how it was performing. I wasn't paying attention necessarily to the speed directly. I was
How you doing, Dimitri?
I was paying attention to the car as a whole, if that makes sense.
Okay, that makes complete sense to me. So, you know, when you get out there and you try to enjoy the day. Now, at any time, did you look down and think, I need to slow down? Or were you just totally focused on the road, staying in the lanes and trying to be safe there while you drive this car?
It was about the time that I saw the blue strobes in the rearview mirror that I realized that I was driving as fast as I was.
Okay, let me ask you a question. How long had you been on the highway? About how many miles had you traveled before your stop took place?
I think that stretch of road is about 3 miles. I wasn't timing like we would say at a track or something like that, but it wasn't but a few minutes, and we were that far down the road. It was fairly quick.
Yeah, I haven't eaten
All
yet either,
right.
Tyler.
My next question now.
I'll figure
Mr.
something
Powers,
out a
when
little bit
you
later
looked in your
on.
rearview mirror
Something
and you
quick and
saw
easy.
those lights, did you immediately, without hesitation, pull off to the side of the road?
I did. I immediately downshifted and let my foot off the gas, and then started to apply the brake. I don't remember if there was a vehicle to my right or not. The section of road right there it's about I don't know. I would say it's about a 40-degree curve to the right. And I was in the left lane traveling at a high rate of speed, and I felt if I'd pulled over to the right, that the car I was driving might have gone out of control worse than it did.
Right. So for safety's sake, you had just pulled over to the left. There was nobody stopped in the left median that you may have run into. It just seemed like the safer choice, correct?
Correct. That was my judgment at that time. At that moment was I felt that if I had tried to pull over to the right, like we're supposed to do in this state, that it may have caused further problems and possibly injury to myself or my passenger.
A food
Now,
coma?
so
I
once
bet,
you
Megan. I'm
started to
jealous,
exit
girl.
the
That looked
highway
good.
itself and you hit the median, can you explain to me
Welcome back,
what had
Christian.
happened that would cause your car to go down into the median and rest in the spot that it ended up in down there?
Yes, the vehicle it was constructed. The suspension system and the steering system, including the tires and the wheels, were constructed specifically to stay in contact with the road at high speeds. Because of that, I felt that.
How you doing today, Alex?
I didn't realize that the gravel that is naturally in the median was kicked up onto the pavement, and I expected the vehicle, based on the way it was built and intended to handle, to be able to stop and keep the curve and stay on that shoulder.
Okay.
But like I said, I did not intend for there to be gravel there. I was not aware of that. And as the car slid off, I let it slide into the ditch.
His character
I could
is
control
hilarious,
it.
Dimitri.
And then I did not attempt to pull back onto the road because, I mean, let's be honest, this is San Andreas. I didn't really want to get shot.
Right, I understand. So it would kind of be a little bit safe to assume that, and no fault of the highway system here, that maybe they hadn't been out there to clean up the sideways, to pick up the alligator tires that had popped off in the side of the road, how it is, and people leave their tires and stuff. Is it safe to assume that possibly on that stretch of highway that the rocks were there because of the highway hadn't been cleaned off?
Objection, Your Honor.
There's a letter there.
Hold on,
What?
Mr. Sharkskin. There's an objection. What's your objection?
Yes, sir. Mr. Sharkskin is leading the witness to provide testimony to a charge that you have already decided is not part of this case.
No, Your Honor, this is not to establish the recklessness. This is to understand why exactly he went off of the road and into the curb. Because had those rocks not been there, he would have possibly stopped right there on the side of the road.
All right, I get you, Mr. Sharkskin. However, I am going to sustain that objection. That testimony is not relevant to this citation, in that there is no charge for any kind of recklessness or anything like that. We're strictly only going to be concerned with the speeding of 15 plus over the speed limit. While I do love your eloquent speeches and beautiful pictures that you paint in the courtroom, sir, it's really not going to help nor hurt your client in this case.
I accept that, Your Honor. Bless your heart.
Yep. All right, so go ahead. Just make sure you ask your question, let your client answer, Mr. Sharkskin. Don't lead the witness, please.
All right, I apologize.
What's up, Leah?
All right, well, I have no further questions, Your Honor, then.
JetBlue, how you doing? All right, so you're done with this witness, Mr. Sharkskin?
I am.
Okay. Mr. Caldwell, are you going to have any questions for this witness?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay. Mr. Power, let me remind you, this is why before you took the stand, I did remind you that you're not required to testify against yourself. You're not required to assist the state with your prosecution. However, now that you have taken the stand, the prosecution does have the right and authority to ask you questions. However, your Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination still stands, sir. Do you understand that you're not required to answer any questions?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You can proceed, Mr. Caldwell.
Yes, sir. Mr. Powers, when
That sucks, Alex. I hate to hear that,
Lieutenant
buddy.
O'Connor
I hope it works out,
informed
man, and I hope
you
you find a therapist
of
you
your
can really
speed,
trust and open up to.
am I to understand that you did not contest the figure of 112 miles an hour that he presented you with?
I didn't contest it out of the spirit of cooperating, and I wasn't trying to hide the fact that I knew I was in excess of the speed limit.
And why?
I mean, that was the whole intention of the test drive, if that makes any sense.
Yes, sir. Can you tell me why you chose that particular stretch of highway, given the fact that there was that, as you testified earlier, a curve of approximately 40 degrees that you also testified that you felt like you could not control the car at that point?
Is that your question? Could I that you're confirming whether or not I felt I could control it?
No, I'm asking why you chose that particular stretch of road, given the fact that there were areas where you have testified that you felt like you could not control the car at high speed.
Your
Okay.
Honor, I'm going to object to that on the grounds that we're not talking about the safety here. Remember, we're just talking about the speed. So it really wouldn't matter which side of the road or what road he was on or where he tried to pull over.
Your objection is sustained, sir. Move on to a different line of questioning, Mr. Caldwell.
Yes, sir. Let me rephrase. Mr. Power, why did you choose to test on a public highway instead of, for instance, a track where there was no other traffic?
The vehicle was designed to be a street legal road rally car. Okay. Just for confirmation or clarification for the court, what that means is the local drag strip is a straight line. Okay. The car was designed to be a daily driver, if you will, but also one that could compete in road rallies, which have a lot of hills, curves, switchbacks, etc. And as I had stated before, the car was built to handle high speeds on all types of different road surfaces and grades and turns, etc.
Okay.
We could not I could not properly test the work that was done on the car without having some sort of curves. And that, to answer your question, the reason that we were on that stretch of road was
Hey,
because
Kia
one, it was
Sorrento
convenient
plug-in
to the shop
hybrid.
that
What
we
is
were,
going on? Welcome to the
that
stream.
we
Good
were
to see you.
completing the work at.
Welcome back,
and
Ember.
two,
Welcome back,
because
Ember.
just down the road, there was the
No,
S-curve there
Tyler,
going
he
into the
is
tunnel.
not, sir.
And
I don't believe.
it was a lot less trafficked than the S curve going north out of Toledo.
Before you chose this particular stretch of let me remind you, public highway. You talk about the level of traffic. How could you have been certain that that's the level of traffic you would have experienced before you decided to choose that part of the highway?
Well, I mean, it was just it was an assumption based on the time of day and the fact that I've driven that stretch of road many times, and at all different times of the day and night.
Yeah, it should be in
like
HD,
we sat
Tyler,
down and
unless
said,
maybe
"Okay,
your
we're gonna go
connection
down this
is a
stretch
little
of road."
iffy.
Yeah, we got out there.
I'm
we just wanted
streaming
to go do
at
a quick test drive. The customer's waiting on the
1920
car,
by 1080.
and that's why we did it where we did it. And I just felt it was safer to do it that way as opposed to go the other way through Polito, a longer distance, and then out of town past a logging business where trucks enter the highway all the time, and the curves have a bigger sweep to them. It seemed to me like just gut feeling. That was what I was going to do. It was going to be the safer way to get a quick test drive in, and do the things that we needed to accomplish.
Oh yeah. And those things you needed to accomplish included going well in excess of 100 miles an hour on a public highway, sir?
I mean, no, it wasn't required. Like I said, I was
Awesome,
not
Ron.
directly paying
Awesome.
attention to the speed. Hope
you're having a good day over there across the
I'm
pond,
not
brother.
contesting the fact that of whatever the speed was. I want to make that clear. I'm not trying to say I wasn't doing this or I wasn't doing that. I'm just trying to state the facts here because I'm trying to be truthful here and cooperate.
Thank you. No further questions.
All right, Mr. Sharkskin, do you have any redirect for your client, sir?
No, so as my client has stated, hey, we're not, trying to argue the facts.
Okay, got you.
I
All
think
right.
his testimony is good.
Can I add something, Your Honor, real quick?
That's your option there, Mr. Power.
I do want to add that to be honest, the very first
no problem,
the citation going back the furthest, in this case, the very first chronologically, that ticket was that was a moving violation during a leisure drive of my own personal vehicle.
We're not considering any other citations in your testimony at this moment, Mr.
Right.
Power.
Okay. Well, let me rephrase then. It wasn't a leisurely. I'm going to go out and hot rod a car around. While I admit that it may have not been the smartest option.
Well, that's good, Dimitri. That's good,
the
brother.
option I chose, but it wasn't. I want to make it clear. It wasn't a leisure thing.
I got you. It was in the course of your work. I understand, sir.
And the reason that I'm willing to cooperate is because my number one concern here is not losing my license, because that will impact my business negatively.
All right. Anything else, sir?
No, that's all I have to add.
All right, Mr. Power, thank you for your testimony. You're free to rejoin Mr. Sharkskin at the defense table over there. Mr. Caldwell, it appears that there are 2 other citations against Mr. Power as well. We have one that was issued by Commissioner Granley on 4/6/21. We also have another which was issued by Commissioner Granley on 9/21/21. Is Commissioner Granley present to testify, sir?
No, sir, he is not. We will have to let the language in the reports stand for themselves.
Okay, I understand that, sir. Just to make the record clear, the citation that was issued on 4/6/2021 for 15 plus over the speed limit. That citation is unsigned at this time, sir, so I will not be able to accept that as sworn testimony by the officer. Also in citation number 3484, which was issued on September 21st of 2021, that one is signed. However, reading the notes on this citation, the citation was written for a different speed than the narrative actually states. And Commissioner Granley is not present to clarify these citations, correct?
That is correct, sir.
Okay. Mr. Sharkskin, do you have any further evidence you want to submit, sir, before I render my ruling?
No, sir. No,
Okay.
sir. I don't really have any evidence, but I do want to make just a small statement here before the sentencing.
Okay, that's fine, sir. We can do that. However, if you don't go back to 1945 to begin your statement, that would be excellent.
Your Honor, I do want to say my client employs a number of people in this good city. He's been a very active, productive member of the city for 6 years.
She ate a bunch of food there, Dimitri. That's why she's getting tired.
Tickets, and he's not contesting them. So whether the evidence is here, the officers is here, the only thing that we're asking is please make sure that this man, whatever the fines may be, keep his license so that he can keep these people employed and keep that shop going. And I rest, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Are you? Is the state and the defense ready for me to render my ruling?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I'm gonna render the ruling on all three at once, but I'm gonna call them out individually due to the fine amounts and things. On the charge that we actually heard testimony on, citation number 4264, which was issued by Lieutenant O'Connor on June 18th, 2022. I do find that the state met its burden of proof in this case and did prove that the defendant was driving 15 plus over the speed limit. In that case, Mr. Power, I'm going to find you guilty of speeding 15 plus over the limit. Going to issue you a fine of $750 due and payable within 90 days, sir. I do also want to state to you that while I understand that you need to kind of put these cars through the test in order to make sure that the work that's been done on them is adequate, I would remind you that owning a business which works on vehicles does not give you free reign to drive like a bat out of hell on the streets of San Andreas, sir. I would ask that you find an alternate method to test these vehicles so that you're not back in my courtroom again with a speeding charge like this. On the citation 2964, which was issued on April the 6th, 2021, going to dismiss that charge for lack of prosecution due to the fact that the witness officer that issued this citation is not present, and the citation was left unsigned. Therefore, that citation is dismissed. On citation number 3484, issued on September 21st, 2021, there's some discrepancies between the speed that the defendant was actually clocked at and the speed that he was charged with. While I understand this falls under officer discretion, due to the fact that the officer is not here to testify on this citation, I'm going to dismiss also citation 3484, which was issued on September 21st, 2021. Therefore, the verdict of this court is that the defendant is only guilty of the one charge, citation number 4264, issued on June 18th, 2022 by Lieutenant O'Connor. Mr. Power, you are found guilty of that 15 plus over, and you do owe the state of San Andreas a $750 fine. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. Anything further from you, gentlemen?
No, Your Honor.
No, sir.
All right. That is the verdict of this court. Now, I do want to stress to the state, while I understand, sir, that the DA's office does not write these citations. However, it's imperative that if we're going to expect these people to attend court proceedings, the officers who are charging them and or arresting them and taking their freedoms temporarily, or charging them with fines, it's only fair that I hold the officers to the same standard we would hold the defendants. Therefore, officers are required to attend if they're subpoenaed, and all citations should be signed by the officer if there's any chance that I will ever accept them into evidence. You understand where I'm going with that?
Oh, I completely understand, Your Honor, and I am in complete agreement. And I do apologize on behalf of the state of San Andreas that the officers entrusted with enforcing the laws have not fully exercised their duties as required, and it is my hope that going forward, all law enforcement agencies within the state will take that into consideration.
Oh, no, Jamie. All right, very well. And, I do understand that things come up. There may be emergencies that keep officers from being able to attend, but that communication needs to be made to the prosecution and possibly to the court clerk. Had the citation been signed and there had been some extenuating circumstances for Commissioner Granley's absence, then, I may have considered taking that as sworn testimony into the record. However, absent those circumstances being presented and absent the citation being signed, that's why one of those was dismissed. So that is the order of the court.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Juan.
All right. I do have a question for Mr. Hamlin. Are you back in the courtroom, sir?
I am, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Power, you're free to go, sir. All right, Mr. Hammond, we have two other pending cases at the moment. You said that the state versus Demi Whitehead had a plea agreement pending. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, what about the state versus James Hammond? Any plea agreement pending in that one?
There's also a plea agreement in that one.
Okay. Is Mr. James Hammond in the courtroom?
I am, Your Honor.
All right, and Mr. Sharkskin, you're representing Mr. Hammond, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Hammond, if you don't mind, come up and join your attorney at the desk there. Mr. Hamlin, do you want to fill me in on what the details of this plea agreement are? It's the state of San Andreas versus James Hammond, case number CR 20220708-03. There's two charges on this, one charge of arson and one charge of simple assault. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, what are the details of this plea agreement, sir?
The plea agreement is Mr. Hammond will agree to arson, and he will drop the state will drop the simple assault, as that was a muscle twitch on his behalf.
Okay, yeah, those things do happen. So let me look through the record here. So, Mr. Sharkskin, is that your understanding of the plea agreement?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Hammond, that is your understanding of the plea agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
All right, and you're satisfied with your representation by your counsel?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Just to be clear, if you plead guilty to the arson charge, that is a felony charge, sir. Was there any reduction in that charge, Mr. Hamlin, or was it just a straight felony arson?
The state's going to keep it as a felony arson. However, we do request the lowest minimal jail time and fine due to the fact this is his first offense.
Okay. All right, and so the simple assault charge, I'll strike that as being dismissed through the plea agreement. Mr. Hammond, before I accept this plea agreement, sir, I want to make sure that something's clear to you. You do understand that you have the right under the Constitution of the United States to have a trial, and to call witnesses to defend yourself, and also to question witnesses that the state may bring against you. You understand that, Mr. Hammond?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Okay. And you do understand that by pleading guilty, you're unable to appeal the sentencing and verdict of this court, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And you do understand that whatever fines and jail time may be levied against you, you're responsible for serving that time as well as paying those fines, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Can you give me a brief overview, Mr. Hamlin, on what the nature of this charge was? How did Mr. Hammond come to be charged with a count of arson? And before we move further, so that both parties know, in discovery there was evidence submitted of body camera footage, body-worn camera footage by the San Andreas Fire Department that shows these fires. My main question is not did the fires occur, but how did Mr. Hammond become the suspect/defendant in this incident? Tiny Tizzle, what is
Mr.
going on,
Hammond
brother? Good to
was-
see you. Peyton's Hermit Crabs, welcome to the
secondary
stream. Good to
fires,
see you
Mr.
as well.
Hammond was
Skylar
stopped by
Doyle,
a
what's
car
up, bro?
By 601 Sheriff Dank and I believe 404. Upon that, they found ashes as well as gasoline and matches in the vehicle that Mr. Hammond was driving.
Okay, is that your understanding as well, Mr. Sharkskin?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and Mr. Hammond, you're satisfied with this plea deal? You feel like it is entered into in the best interest of you and the state of San Andreas?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I will accept this plea agreement, which was entered into by the defendant and the state of San Andreas. The following witnesses are free to go if you so choose, unless you're here for other cases: Roger Hernandez, Alex Rico, John Dank, and Doolin Donovan, Megan Campbell, and John Marston. You're welcome to stay in the courtroom if you so choose, but you're not required to unless you have other cases. I am going to accept this plea deal, which will result in the dismissal of the simple assault charge against the defendant, James Hammond. Mr. Hammond, as to your plea deal, you understand that you are pleading guilty to the felony charge of arson, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, the state will accept that guilty plea and will find you guilty through your plea to the charge of felony arson. Arson carries a set fine amount of $10,000. Therefore, that fine is going to be issued against you, sir, in the full amount of $10,000. It also carries a jail time of 1 to 9 years in the state penitentiary. At the request of the state and due to this plea bargain, I am going to sentence you to the lower end of that of just 1 year to be served in the Department of Corrections at Bolingbroke Penitentiary. You have, I'll give you 3 days to get your affairs in order, sir, and turn yourself in at Bolingbroke or to any law enforcement agency to turn yourself in to serve these charges. Now, if you do not turn yourself over and report to Bolingbroke, sir, do understand that this plea agreement will then be null and void, sir, and you will be sentenced to the maximum of 9 years on this charge. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Okay. All right, so that is the order of the court. Guilty by plea on arson, fine amount of $10,000, 1 year jail term in the state of corrections at Bolingbroke Penitentiary. Anything further from either of you, Mr. Sharkskin or Mr. Hamlin?
One question, Your Honor. Being that he is going to be incarcerated, what is the time frame for him to pay that amount? And maybe a side question is, are we going to have payments taken in the lobby this evening?
Yes, the court clerk, when we're done here, will be out front as soon as everything is finished up and we've closed out in here. Clerk Listerina Colgate will meet out in the lobby to accept any fine payments. Now, as far as his fine payment goes, he's got 2 options. He can pay that fine prior to reporting for incarceration if he's able to do so, or he will have up to 1 year after his incarceration has ended and he has been released to get that paid. That will be part of a probationary type deal. If that fine is not paid within 12 months of the of him being released, then he's going to be picked back up for contempt and failure to pay fines.
Understood, Your
Hey,
Honor.
Mike Byers, how is it going? Get with Rye there, Tizzy. Get with Rye on that. All right, that is it for that case. 1 year in Bolingbroke and a $10,000 fine.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Sorry, y'all. You're welcome, sir.
Could I have just a minute there, Your Honor? Just about a minute or 2 break there.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Thanks.
While we're taking a quick break, Mr. Hamlin, if you want to reach out to Miss Whitehead and let her know that we're going to be ready for her plea agreement here in just a moment.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm doing awesome, Mike. I'm doing awesome.
Do you have 10 grand to pay tonight?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have 10,000.
Okay, hell yeah. Might as well go get that. I think they're going to take it at one of these windows here after. If you want to just hang out, and I think we got one more case left and we'll be done. Then come out and pay your fine.
All right.
All right.
All right, we're almost done, y'all. We got one more case to hear. This has been a lot of fun, though. I love this court stuff, man. It's great fun. Oh, you gentlemen are ready?
I believe
I
we are,
am
Your
ready,
Honor.
Your Honor.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. Is Miss Demi Whitehead present in the courtroom?
Yes, sir.
All right. If they should be needed, there's witnesses in this case as well. Alex Rico and Kevin Granley, are either of those present?
Captain Alex Rico is present, Your Honor.
Okay. You can remain seated, Captain Rico. We're going to talk about this plea agreement first. Miss Whitehead, if you don't mind, go ahead and join your counsel up at this desk to your right there.
Yeah, come on around here. Come on around here.
Come on around here. Come on around here. No problem, Scholar. Yeah, we did this a little early because I wasn't sure how long it was going to run. All right, Mr. Hamlin, you want to fill me in on the details of this plea agreement? The charges are shoplifting and reckless evading of law enforcement.
Yes, Your Honor. After speaking with the shop owner, the shoplifting charge will be dropped. However, the reckless evade of law enforcement will still be in play.
All right. Now, so is that? Am I to understand that Miss Whitehead is prepared to plead guilty to the reckless evading of law enforcement, and the shoplifting charge is going to be dropped? Or are we needing to hear testimony on the reckless evading of law enforcement?
Well, you asking me as well, so I don't want to speak out of turn.
Well, I'm mainly asking Mr. Hammond first. Are you wanting to proceed with a trial on reckless evading of law enforcement, or is that part of this plea agreement?
I believe that is part of the plea agreement that myself and Mr. Sharkskin have discussed.
Okay, I got you. All right, Mr. Sharkskin, is that your understanding that the shoplifting charge is going to be dropped and the felony reckless evading of law enforcement is going to be pled guilty to?
Yeah, so let me just take a look at my notes just to confirm real quick.
All right, Alex, take it easy, bud. Actually, Taylor, my daughter's cat is under my desk at the moment, next to my computer. She likes to lay under there. I think she likes the hum of my computer fans that she can hear. Welcome back, Dustin K.
Yeah, so under the terms that I've got written down here, we were going to
Oh, I hope everything's all right there, Mike, with your leg.
compromise. Actually, you know what? Is there a way I could have just a moment outside with a prosecutor? I want to compare my notes with his on an important point here. I hate to hold your court. I hate to hold your court up, but there is something that's very important that I need to confer and make sure we got the same notes on here.
That'll be fine. Make it quick though, gentlemen.
All right, tenfold.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
I love that character. He's hilarious.
Okay, so we had talked about reducing the felony to resisting arrest because there was no, no physical. Right. Okay, all right. I just wanted to make sure because that'll make it taking the felony down. Okay, no problem. Just wanted to make sure.
All right, let's see. So, let me look that up.
Thank you, Your Honor.
No problem, gentlemen. Were y'all on the same page with that then?
Your Honor, we were not. I am sorry. We are actually going to go with resisting arrest, which is a misdemeanor charge, not reckless evade of law enforcement.
All right, so you're going to go with the standard resisting arrest, not the resisting officer by force or threat?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Let me look up the fine information on this one. All right, was there any concession given to... Now, misdemeanor resisting arrest carries a $1,000 fine and judicial discretion of 0 to 1 year imprisonment in the county jail. Did y'all have any concession on that jail time?
We did not, Your Honor.
We'll ask him for a time on this. And I mean, she did run on foot for about a block or so. She didn't hurt anybody or do anything crazy. She wasn't in a vehicle. This was strictly a run from the scene. She got scared when she saw the cops.
Okay. So just to make sure I'm on the same page you gentlemen are, we're looking at dropping the shoplifting charge, and we're looking at amending the reckless evading of law enforcement felony to a resisting arrest, which is a misdemeanor. Is that the understanding of both of you gentlemen?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Is Miss Whitehead, is that your understanding as well?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And you're happy with your representation by Mr. Sharkskin?
Yes, Your Honor.
It does, ABM. What's going on, brother? All right. Now, Miss Whitehead, before I move any further, I want to make sure you understand a couple of things. You understand that you do have a constitutional right to have a trial in which the state has to prove your guilt. And by pleading guilty, you're waiving your right to that trial and waiving your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
I do.
All right, with that in mind, you still wishing to enter a guilty plea on the resisting arrest?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Hamlin, I read this report on the shoplifting and the resisting here. It's a very detailed report by Captain Rico, so kudos to that. Thank God, it's probably the best evidence report I've read in all of the cases here before us on this court date. Everything is signed and all of that, thank goodness. But I did read the report. It does sound like Miss Whitehead is on some hard times without having income and with being homeless. So I'm Mr. Sharkskin, let me ask you this. Has your client found employment yet?
No, sir. She's been trying, but in her defense or not, she's been waiting for the outcome of this. Because when they ask for applications, you've been convicted, all that. She didn't want to have to get hired and then get fired on account of this case. So we're trying to help her get her life together. She got a room down there somewhere in the city.
Yeah, I've been drinking water, Tyler.
We've been kind of helping her with a couple community donators. We're just trying to get her back on track. That's why we're trying to just get this one over with, and hopefully it won't hurt her any more than it already has in the future, Your Honor.
I got you. So it looks to me like yeah, it looks to me from reading this that there was no violence against the officers in the resisting. So she has a place to stay currently, Mr. Sharkskin?
Yeah, she's steady. Yeah, she's got a room and board down there. We got donators enough to keep her in there for the next several months, just to get her on her feet. That's from generous donations from around the city.
Right.
Mind you, shelters and clinics and things like that.
Oh, that sounds good, Stu. All right, and how much time? I see that the bond was released on her own recognizance. No bond required there. How much time did she serve in jail awaiting that release?
How long did they have you in there? Do you remember how long?
It was like 4 months, I think.
There was 4 months waiting on your release?
I think so. I can't remember. Time goes by too quickly.
Okay. All right. Okay, Mr. Sharkskin, do you have anything else to add?
No, sir, I do not. All fines are going to be paid by her donators, whatever it may be, this evening.
Okay. All right. Well, due to the plea agreement that was entered into by the state and by the defendant, I am going to dismiss the shoplifting charge. There will be no fines or criminal record of that, or no criminal conviction of that, rather. I am, Miss Whitehead, going to find you guilty of resisting arrest, which is a misdemeanor. That does carry a $1,000 fine, which is going to be due and payable within 90 days. It also carries 0 to 1 year in jail. However, since you served 4 months already, I'm gonna sentence you to time served. Therefore, the order of this court is that you're guilty of resisting arrest, which is a misdemeanor. You do owe a $1,000 fine within 90 days, and you do not have any further jail time to serve. Do you have any questions, Miss Whitehead?
No, sir. Thank you, Your Honor.
No problem. Mr. Hamlin, anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right, do we?
State satisfied.
All right. That's going to be the order of this court. Shoplifting is dismissed. Resisting arrest or reckless evading of law enforcement is amended to resisting arrest. $1,000 fine payable within 90 days and time served. No further jail time on this case for Miss Whitehead. Miss Whitehead, you're free to go. Mr. Sharkskin and Mr. Hamlin, I thank you so much for assisting the state and your clients today. I do appreciate that.
My pleasure, Your Honor, to serve this great city.
You're welcome.
That's
Your Honor.
right. All right, I'm going to adjourn court for the day. Thank you all for being here. Is there any? Well, before we do that, is there anything further, anything else that needs to come before the court before we adjourn?
Not that the state is aware of, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Well, court is adjourned. That is going to do it for us, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for attending, and God bless this great country.
Amen, Your Honor.
That's
Amen.
right. I'll send out Miss Listerina Colgate here in a minute to accept any fines anybody wants to pay. All right, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, court night is in the books. We kept it under 2 hours. I'm actually kind of surprised. I was a little concerned some of these may have ran over, and if we had to have trials on some of these, they may actually have ran over. So that is going to do it for this one, everybody. Thank you all so much. We're going to try to do this once a month or so, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. The court stuff is super fun. We don't get to do it often enough, but it's a lot of moving parts, so we can't do it. I would love to do it like twice a month, but it's a lot of work to get these together. So once a month, do watch that calendar there. If you do ! rotation in the chat, you'll get the stream rotation calendar that is new on our website. We now stream official streams on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, and then we will also have some occasional ones like this that are on other nights, but those will be put on the calendar as we're able to do so. So with that being said, thank you all so much for coming to hang out with us tonight. I certainly do appreciate it. Don't forget, if you haven't hit that like button for me already, please consider doing that. It does help the channel out. Subscribe if you haven't already. Turn those notifications on. And we'll see you guys tomorrow night over on Buddha Rocks' Twitch channel. It is twitch.tv/BuddhaRocks for the official Saturday night stream. I think he's toying around with the idea of streaming from the jailer's perspective, so that when law enforcement brings in all of the booking and stuff back of house, he's going to show you through all of that. So do make sure you go over there and follow that. Take care, Brandon. Take care, everybody. Thank you all so much. Peace and love, and we'll see you all on the next one. Bye-bye, y'all.
I rise just like a phoenix, born from the ashes. I take care of my own.